Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Marina Hardy. Today we'll meet a future leader learning the ropes of local government, and we'll mosey on down to the Dover Saddlery, making headlines this week. The results are in, and we have a new Annapolis Idol, and he is Rob Spangler. The competition crowned its first man the champion. The Severn resident and Broadneck High School graduate belted out Save the Last Dance and beat out 13 other finalists to become the next Annapolis Idol. The event was sponsored by the Anne Arundel Conflict Resolution Center. You might remember the organizer was on our show earlier this year, along with Susie Estrada of Crofton, last year's winner. 300 people crowded into Wild Willie's Rock House and Sports Saloon in Annapolis for this year's contest, according to the Annapolis Capitol. In a cool twist, the audience voted for their favorite singers in addition to the judges. Spangler's hook was a Rat Pack sound in a style similar with today's Michael Bublé. He won a 2-hour recording session at LSP Recording Studios, a cash prize, and $100 gift certificate from Guitar Center. Congratulations to Rob, and we can't wait to see next year's competition.
A couple of county agencies are moving to new digs, and taxpayers will save more than $200,000 as a result of these moves. County Executive Leopold announced this week that the cashier's office in Glen Burnie, where you can pay your property tax bill or water bill and sewer bill, is moving from rented space to a county-owned property. That means that the office will open on Monday, March 12th at noon in its new location. It's just a few blocks away at the Anne Arundel Community College Campus North Center at the Glen Burnie Town Center. The Office of Finance has 2 additional locations in downtown Annapolis at the Arundel Center and at the Heritage Office Complex on Riva Road. The cashier's office in Glen Burnie is the first of many that will relocate to save on rent cost. For the rest of the year, other agencies will move, including the Board of Elections, Pets on Wheels, the County Employees Union Office, and the Maryland Cooperative Extension. We'll update you as the other locations change. We've heard that the Cooperative Extension, which works closely with local farmers in the 4-H group, will end up over at the Dairy Farm in Gambrels, which is a perfect spot. If you have a question about hours of operations for the finance office, cashier, call 410-222-1144.
Well, Erik, this next one's for you.
All right.
I know you have pets, your cats Simon and Bella.
That's right.
And they might want to put their paws over their ears for a minute.
Uh-oh.
It turns out some people have pet rats. Yes, they do. I don't know why, but apparently people in Anne Arundel County have pet rats. The little critters have become very popular at Animal Control, which got a very special delivery of fancy rats in January and another recent delivery of 11 fancy rats this month. They still have more left in case, Erik, in case you're feeling tempted, I don't know.
Wait. Who would have a pet rat? I can see ferrets, I can see guinea pigs, but why would you want a rat?
I'm ashamed to say I had a pet mouse for a time,
okay, but
until
rats.
my cat found him.
Oh, and then the mouse.
Then the mouse,
another way
little Ellis met his untimely demise. But anyway, the folks at the shelter have decided to seize on this opportunity to promote sterilization of pets like rats, gerbils, and mice, and some other little pets out there, hamsters, gerbils, I would imagine. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's a fancy rat, as Erik and I both are? Well, of course, they are fancier than the vermin you might find in the trash can, which are gray and yucky and have rabies. These rats are domesticated and come in all different colors. I've actually heard that they're brilliant. They're brilliant pets to have.
Yeah.
Besides the obvious benefits of sterilizing your rats, of stopping them from making little baby rats, there are other pluses. It makes them smell better and tends to help avoid disease. So there you go. I'm sure nobody expected to learn so much about rats. A coworker of mine.
Oh, we can review. You never know what you're going to learn here. We can
you
review.
learn something every day. A coworker of mine today, Erik, back at Constituent Services, was saying that they are an avid animal lover and were researching the pets. And they had a mama hamster that gave birth to a litter of baby hamsters at Animal Control. And
Really?
all the babies had been adopted, but not the mama. And Animal Control had deemed the baby's mom named to be Baby Mama.
Okay.
So now if anybody is out there looking to adopt a hamster, there's Baby Mama needs a home.
Well, I tell you, we are successful here at adopting animals. You remember the cat?
Yes.
Remember the cat we had on here? That cat was at Animal Control for 4 or 5 months. Nobody took a look at that cat. Brought her here on the show, made her a superstar, put a little makeup on her. That cat's got a great new home out there, and here's doing well.
It's fantastic.
So
hopefully we can find a home for all these fancy rats. There's more Week in Review to come, including our interview with Emma Graybill, a Northeast High student who got to be county executive for a day. Take a look at our community calendar, and don't forget to get involved with Homeless Resource Day at the end of this month. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Bring out the action hero in you. Fuel up right and get energized. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
And welcome back, folks. Well, if you've ever wanted to know what it's like to be in charge of county government for a day, we've got just the person here to tell us. Emma Graybill, she's a junior at Northeast High School, and she's won our County Executive for a Day competition. Emma, tell us a little bit about the contest that you entered and how you got interested in this, and a little bit about your essay that you sent.
It's actually really interesting. My guidance counselor sent around packets, and it was 3 or 4 days before the essay was actually due and it had to be finished, typed, and sent in. I think I got it on like the 13th.
Wow. And
I opened it up and I was like, oh, that's so cool. The kid next to me was like, what is that? I was like, well, you get to be on county council. And he was like, why would you even want to do that? But it's definitely something I thought was really, really interesting. And I kind of did a little bit of research, cheated before I had to write my essay. I focused more on the human rights issues and how in 2010 they passed bills on veterans and like tanning law safety and how they had to post signs that said tanning was actually kind of dangerous for people within the buildings. So I kind of went on that note and said I would advocate for that very strongly if I was the county executive.
So you'd advocate for things like keeping people safe, keeping minors safe. I think that's
Definitely.
what that tanning bill did, and then also supporting our veterans and making sure our veterans were taken care of.
Absolutely. I think I'd have to be a county executive very much for the constituents because I feel like there's not enough input. Everyone has something to complain about. Ask them to provide a solution. See what you can do to make everything better for as many people as possible.
I love it. I love it. As somebody in the Constituent Services Department, I deal with constituent issues every day in your community. I cover your community, and it's nice to hear that you're involved and you are advocating. So it's nice to know that a young person is getting involved in this. What is your favorite interest in school? Is it politics? What gets you going? What keeps you up late doing your homework and keeping that nose to the grindstone?
They all keep me up late. My favorite is probably a tie between AP Spanish and my AP Human Geography class. I tried my best to get out of taking the science classes and lean more towards social studies this year. It was the first year I was actually able to pick up things in the category that I wanted to do. So I went with the AP Human Geography, and I'm taking AP Macro and Microeconomics. It's actually really interesting. It's an online class. There's only 5 kids enrolled in it in my entire school, and they gave you a free period during the day, and you go sit in guidance, and you pretty much teach yourself the lessons, and it's kind of cool figuring out the inside of what makes our government run in the financial aspect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Emma, you're a junior at Northeast.
Yes.
Great school. You guys are getting a new school.
Very excited.
School's being built as we speak, so you probably might not be able to ever go into that new school, but hopefully a lot of your friends.
We're opening as soon as we come back from spring break. We're
That's
moving
right.
into phase 2 of construction, and we'll be in the new half of the building. I believe it's our foreign language department, 5 or 6 of our math teachers, and a good deal of our art and fax department.
So you will be in the portion that's open up.
I'm
That's
very
great.
excited, yes.
That is great. But what about, you're a junior now, next year is your senior year. Are you starting to think about college? Are you starting to think about life outside of high school, life outside of mom and dad's house and the quote-unquote real world?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of interesting thinking about where I want to go in. It's only a year away. I have to be applied and committed somewhere within almost a year. So I have 2, and they're really far away, but my number 1 is actually in Kentucky. And their international relations program is absolutely fantastic. Every student's guaranteed an opportunity to study abroad. You don't have to pay any extra to do it, and they'll send you for 2 weeks, a semester, a whole year, and you can do it either your junior or senior year. So that's really interesting. And you can also, I believe you can minor in political science and education there, which is something I was looking into, so that's exciting. And their field hockey coach said if I went, I would most likely play and start my freshman year. So that's cool.
Fantastic.
So some sports, very well rounded. It's always good. We were talking off camera, and I always like to embarrass our guests that are here.
Of course.
But no, we won't embarrass you too much. But I understand, you've got this interest in these little creatures that live south of the equator called penguins. Tell us a little bit about that.
I have kind of this secret obsession with penguins. I dragged my 3 best friends to go see Happy Feet 2 the day it came out.
There you go.
I may or may not have a 2 or 3 foot large stuffed mumble that I sleep with at night.
What's a mumble?
The main character in Happy Feet?
Oh my goodness, I apologize.
Of course.
I didn't know that either.
What?
No, but that's great. That's great. It's always good to have something. My little boy is also interested in penguins. He's a big fan of
that's
penguins as
awesome.
well. Not the hockey team, of course. We don't like anything from Pittsburgh in our house, folks. But
A disclaimer, can we run the disclaimer on the bottom of the screen that this is not an endorsement of any Pittsburgh team?
We don't endorse any Pittsburgh team. There's no Pittsburgh, even the Pirates. I won't even root for the Pirates, and they're horrible, but it doesn't work. But Emma, best of luck to you. Is there anything that you've learned so far from this program that you want to share with people and just say, hey, this is something I didn't know about county government, but now I know, and I want to tell all the viewers out there, what it really means to be in county government?
I think especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you have the opportunity to apply for it next year, you should try to give it a shot, because it's something that there's only 15 to 20 kids involved, and I know they said there were openings if more people would have said they wanted to do it. And you not only get to go, they give you 4 issues that you get to speak on, and it's filmed, and legislators are there. They take into account what you're saying, and it's a different form of lobbying, and it's almost as though you have the opportunity to make a difference, and that's something that students don't oftentimes have. So if they have the opportunity, they should definitely go for it.
Yep. Well, Emma, thanks for participating in the program. It's a great program. County Council meeting's coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks, I believe?
2 weeks.
March 19th.
March
I think.
19th, Monday,
4
March
p.m.
19th, 4 p.m. You can watch it right here on the Anne Arundel County channel, and you'll see Emma and 20 of her friends from high schools from around the county take part in our mock council meeting. Folks, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more Week in Review. Stay with us.
It's always wildfire season somewhere in America. Nearly 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by the carelessness of humans and could be prevented. But together, we can make a difference.
Watch what I can do!
Help protect the home of our forest friends.
Come on! You can do it!
Only you can prevent wildfires.
To find out more, log on to SmokeyBear.com.
Welcome back. On March 7, 2012, at approximately 10 a.m., officers from the Northern District with assistance from K-9s responded to the 200 block of Charles Street in Brooklyn Park for a report of a residential burglary in progress. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy, who has further details on the investigation. Justin.
Thanks, Eric. Police communications indicated that the suspect had been standing on the back deck of the residence when witnesses heard a loud noise and could no longer observe the suspect on that deck. Once officers arrived on scene, they set up an exterior perimeter around the residence, made entry into the residence, and announced their presence. The suspect then exited a second-floor window and made his way onto the roof of the home in an effort to flee from officers. That suspect eventually jumped from the roof into the backyard of the residence, where he was taken into custody without incident. Now, no other suspects were determined to be inside of the residence, and that suspect was charged with multiple counts of burglary and related charges. The suspect in this case is Justin David Taylor, age 29, of 1234 Stevens Avenue in Arbutus, Maryland. Folks, we're going to move on to our second incident. That one took place on February 23rd around 5:04 in the evening. That's when officers from the Southern District responded to the Westfield Annapolis Mall in Annapolis for a strong-arm robbery. When officers arrived on scene, they spoke to the victims, a 54-year-old female and a 64-year-old male, who indicated they were walking to their vehicle in the red parking garage area of the mall when they were approached by 3 subjects. One of the suspects pushed the male victim and was able to take a box containing a laptop computer from him, while the second suspect attempted to take property from the female but was unable to do so. That's when all 3 fled in a black BMW bearing District of Columbia plates. Now, we reported on this previously. The update on this case is that after numerous interviews with victims and witnesses who remained on scene for police, our Southern District detectives developed information regarding the stolen vehicle from that incident. In a multi-jurisdictional law enforcement effort, Southern District detectives worked hand-in-hand with Metropolitan Police Department representatives in Washington, D.C., along with members of the Montgomery County Police Department in an effort to ID and locate the suspects. On February 25th, the suspect vehicle was located in Northeast Washington, D.C. Now, using video surveillance images from the robbery, along with knowledge from citizens in the area where that vehicle was found, detectives identified a suspect. On February 29th, Anne Arundel County Police Department members, along with Metropolitan Police and Montgomery County Police, served a search warrant at the suspect's residence at 326 Oneida Street in Washington, D.C. That suspect, Stefan Alante Harrigan, was located in the house and was arrested by Anne Arundel County Police on a warrant charging him with the robbery at Annapolis Mall. Detectives also found evidence in the house that directly linked the suspect to the robbery. An arrest warrant is also on file for a second suspect, 20-year-old Ronald Harrigan, who happens to be the brother of Stefan Harrigan. The Anne Arundel County Police Department and the Metropolitan Police Department are actively searching for Ronald Harrigan at this time. The investigation is also continuing into the identity of the third suspect. The Police Department would like to take this opportunity to thank the citizens who provided valuable information to assist in the investigation and remind them to come forward with any information about Ronald Harrigan. Now, Stefan Harrigan is age 18. He's from 326 Oneida Street in Washington, D.C. His brother Ronald is age 20, also of that address, 326 Oneida Street in Washington, D.C. And remember, there's a third outstanding suspect we're attempting to identify. Now, folks, as always, if you have any information on crimes or suspects we mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. That number is available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP, or you can text message MCS plus your message to crimes. That's 274-637. Your third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded, callers remain anonymous, and you might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Justin.
This week in Hot Topics, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to more than 1,380 calls for service. This included more than 1,380 emergency medical calls and 103 fire calls. 3 different fires this week injured 2 firefighters and a resident and displaced more than 10 people. Here to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Marina. The first incident occurred around 1 a.m. on Monday, March 5, 2012, when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported dwelling fire in the 400 block of Kings College Drive in the Arnold area of the county. The first unit on the scene reported fire from the roof of a 2-story single-family dwelling. An interior fire attack was initiated, and the incident was upgraded to an all-hands response. During the interior fire attack operations, there was a partial ceiling collapse on the 2nd floor of the dwelling. 2 firefighters were injured, one of which required transport to Anne Arundel Medical Center for further evaluation. After the collapse, all firefighters were ordered from the building and re-entered a short time later after the building was deemed safe to finish extinguishment. The residence was occupied at the time of the incident, and all occupants did escape without injury. The exact cause of the fire is under investigation, and a damage estimate was not immediately available. The Red Cross did respond to the scene and is assisting the occupants. In a second incident, county firefighters were called to another house fire in the 4500 block of Ritchie Highway in the Brooklyn Park area around noon on Monday, March 5, 2012. In this incident, firefighters arrived to find smoke coming from a 1-story vacant dwelling. Firefighters immediately initiated an interior fire attack and conducted a search of the dwelling. During the search of the smoke-filled dwelling, firefighters did locate a 54-year-old male who was unconscious inside the dwelling. He suffered life-threatening burns and inhalation injuries as a result of the incident and was pulled from the burning dwelling by firefighters. The injured patient was transported via ground ambulance to the burn unit at Hopkins Bayview Medical Center in Baltimore. In all, it took more than 28 firefighters from Anne Arundel County and Baltimore City about 20 minutes to bring the 1-alarm incident under control. The fire caused an estimated $40,000 in damages, and the cause remains under investigation. County firefighters were again called into action in the early morning hours Tuesday, March 6, 2012, when firefighters were summoned to the 1000 block of Cutler Harbor in the community of Elizabeth Landing around 3:21 a.m. in the Pasadena area. The first unit arriving at this incident reported 2 townhouses completely engulfed in flames. Firefighters quickly requested a second alarm and began exterior and interior fire operations. Occupants from the townhomes were home at the time of the incident, but were alerted to the fire by neighbors who began banging on the doors of the homes, thus providing an early warning and allowing the occupants to escape before the fire department's arrival. It took 76 firefighters about an hour to bring the 2-alarm incident under control. Marina?
Thanks, Chief. One of the fires caused an estimated $750,000 in damages and involved 3 separate townhomes. The Red Cross is assisting the 2 families who were displaced. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
In this week's Business Spotlight, John Fernay of IslandAnnapolis.net visits the Dover Saddlery in Crofton. Let's send it out to John with the horses.
This is John Fernay for Business Spotlight, and this week we're in West County. We're on Dover Saddlery, and we're right on Crane Highway, which is also known as Route 3. And with us today is David Atkinson, the manager of Dover Saddlery. Thanks for having us in today.
Well, it's great to have you here today.
Well, saddleries are unusual. I haven't seen too many of them in town, around the county, and you're obviously one of very few in the county. And it's just wonderful to hang with the horsey set from South County that's here. But where do you draw from? What's the main draw for Dover Saddlery?
The main draw is probably about a 100-mile radius. We have people that come from across the bridge, and they visit us quite often. And we also have people from South County. We have people all the way down to La Plata. We have people all the way from Pennsylvania that come in to visit us. It's a destination, and people sort of get their list together, and they come to us, and we help them with whatever we can.
Wonderful. Now, how long have you been here?
The store itself has been here approximately 6 years, and we took over for Dominion Saddlery. We purchased the company about 7 years ago, and we reworked it a bit, and we're back in the same location.
That's wonderful. And obviously you're a one-stop shop for the horse set here. I noticed through the saddles that are here that mostly it's all English. Do you sell any Western saddles? Or
we don't sell any Western tack here. The pieces that we have are some bits, and we also have vet meds and things like that for them, but we concentrate more on the English world, but we can always help anybody with anything that they need.
Great, great. And personally, do you ride?
I do. I have a wonderful Irish sport horse named Finnegan. He's 20 years old, and he thinks he's 4.
That's usually the way they are. So how do you like Anne Arundel County? I mean, you've obviously come from a different area. I know you had mentioned that you lived up in Baltimore personally.
Correct.
So how's Anne Arundel County treating you?
It's wonderful. The people that come in, they're really excited that we're here and that they can physically touch things, and we try to make it as easy as possible. We have, as you see throughout the store, a broad range of products, and it's very rare that anyone leaves here empty-handed. And I think we also help them with a lot of things that they're looking for, that they might have an idea, they might be a new horse owner, or we have a lot of large barns around here who support us a great deal.
Right, absolutely. I'm sure all the local barns. I know my daughter used to ride at Lofmar and a couple of the other barns around here, and it's great. Personally, I love the smell of the tack and the leather. It's just a really neat thing. But Dover Saddlery is just a very unique place to be. It's got anything you need for horses. The tack, the horse equine medications.
Correct. We sell over-the-counter equine medications. And also leather care. We have a broad crossover. A lot of people come that have boats that need stuff for their leather seats on their boats and their cars, and it's a very nice place to be, and people are excited when they come in.
Who would have thought that a boater on the Chesapeake Bay might come to a tack shop for some things? Well, David, thank you very much for having us here. And if anybody is in the market for getting a new horse, has a horse, please stop by Dover Saddlery on Route 3. In Crofton, Gambrels area. Hey, are you on Facebook? Do you have a website?
We do have a website. It's www.doversaddlery.com.
Wonderful. Thanks very much.
Thanks, John. Nice of you to mosey on down to tell us about another great local business.
Are you or a family member older than 80 and still sharp as a tack? Well, Mary Felter has information on a new study that wants to look at how you do it. Mary?
Thank you, Marina. Today, my guest is Karen Stewart, who is a recruitment manager for the IDEAL study that is being done. IDEAL stands for, well, I'll have to ask Karen exactly. What does IDEAL stand for?
IDEAL is an acronym, and so it's all capital letters, and it stands for Insights into the Determinants of Exceptional Aging and Longevity.
And what are you looking for, or who are you looking for?
This is a study that is being conducted by the National Institute on Aging, and they are looking for exceptional agers. And an exceptional ager is a person 80 or older who has no serious physical ailments and is still mentally sharp.
So the ideal person is obviously somebody who is really still doing a lot of things out there in the community. Is it genetic, do they think, that people survive this long?
Well, it's not that simple. Genetics certainly plays a part, and researchers hypothesize that genetics plays a very big part in how many years we actually have to live on this earth. But the quality of that time is very dependent on choices that we make. So researchers in the IDEAL study aren't just, they are looking at genetics, but they're also looking at other elements. They're looking at biology, they're looking at physiology, they're looking at behaviors. How much do you exercise? What are your work ethics? They're looking at attitudes, optimist versus pessimist, social networks. How many people do you know? How often do you see them? All of these things, and including things like nutrition and what drugs you take, these all have an impact on how well people age. And so researchers are looking at the full picture. They're looking at the full human being to see what distinguishes these healthy 80, 90-year-olds from those people who don't age as well.
What do they hope to find exactly?
Well, we're looking to find the secrets of healthy aging. In this study, which is part of the Baltimore Longitudinal Study on Aging, researchers will be comparing these elements that I talked about in healthy agers with those that don't age as well to see if they can see what are these secrets to healthy aging. And the importance of this is that when they find out, it will have an important impact on those of us who come after.
Well, if someone wants to participate in this study, what's the first thing they need to do?
Well, the first thing they need to do is to call the telephone number. And our number is 1-855-804-3325. And this is a toll-free number. And during this telephone call, there will be a short screener. The person who answers the phone will ask you 8 or 9 questions. Things like to make sure you're old enough, get your health status, just do preliminary eligibility. And people who are found to be eligible after the screening call will then be asked to schedule an in-home physical and cognitive assessment. And we have a physician's assistant who can schedule a time to come to the participant's home and actually do a full assessment of their physical strength, their physical conditioning, memory studies. People who are found eligible after the home visit are then asked to participate in the study, to come to Baltimore for the full Baltimore Longitudinal Study assessment of their health and cognitive abilities. But the first step is calling 1-855-804-3325. For those of us who have trouble remembering numbers, it's 1-855-80-IDEAL.
Oh, that's a wonderful little crutch for everybody to have. I understand that you are going to provide transportation if need be.
Yes, we understand that a lot of seniors aren't too keen on driving 95 or driving on the interstate. So for those people who are eligible to go to Baltimore for their assessments, we can provide transportation, pick them up, and bring them home.
And there's no charge for the study at all, right?
There is no charge either way. This physical assessment, the cognitive assessments are all done free of charge, but participants don't get money for what they do either. We are hoping that people see this as an opportunity to provide a legacy for people who come after. Now, you can leave somebody, one person, something in a will, but this is a legacy that will go to thousands and thousands of people.
Well, Karen, I really appreciate your coming on the program today. I understand you're here at the Pascal Senior Center with me. I know you were here once before. Maybe you're going to recruit some more people for the study.
There are a lot of healthy, active people right here at the Pascal Center, going to classes, taking exercise classes, working out, playing pool. They're the people that we're looking for.
Well, I want to thank you then for coming over from Rockville and being here today to let people know about the IDEAL study.
It was my pleasure.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer with the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities. And back to you, Marina.
Thanks, Mary. I've always heard that puzzles are a great exercise for your brain. Crosswords and card games and Sudoku and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see what the study finds. I know my grandparents sit around and do the Sudoku and the brain teasers.
What is Sudoku?
It's the number game. It's in the.
Oh, it's not letters? It's numbers?
You'd be good at it. It's numbers.
It's numbers. I like
no
numbers.
letters involved.
I don't like letters.
Maybe, I mean, we learned that last week that you and I both aren't the Merriam-Webster champs that we would hope we would be. But
not at all.
You know, maybe we should start the numbers, a nice lunchtime activity for us.
Well, do they have a math champion? Is there like a mathematics? We had the spelling bee
Heck
champion
yes.
on. That should be next. We should bring the math champion of Anne Arundel
Little
County.
known fact. I was
could take
president of the robotics team in high school.
Really? Did you build robots?
We built robots, very mathematic and science heavy, right here in Anne Arundel County.
Interesting to know. Got a lot of good robotics teams in the county. Well, if you've been to Quiet Waters Park over the last 21 years, you've probably seen this familiar face. He's Michael Murdoch, the superintendent of the park. Our own Carolyn Ryan talked with him before he moves on to other things. Carolyn.
Thanks. We're here at Quiet Waters Park with Michael Murdoch, who has been the park superintendent here for over 21 years, since the park opened. Michael, thank you very much for gracing us with one last interview before you leave the park.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. It's been a pleasure and a wonderful trip here to be the superintendent for almost 22 years, and I can't think of a better place to work, so I'm really excited about leaving, but I'm also reluctant to leave this beautiful park and the wonderful people I've met here. So.
Great. Well, as you head out, what are your plans?
Well, I'm going to be doing something different, which was I'm going to be involved. I'll move into Morehead City, North Carolina, for one, which is where I grew up, but I haven't lived there for many years, so I'm a little scared about that. But I'm going to be involved with some environmental issues that I've been working on the side a little bit. I've got some business interests there, some property and a couple of houses, and but I really plan to focus in on environmental and maybe some art things that I've been thinking about doing. So.
Great. Sounds like you definitely have some plans to keep you busy.
Oh yeah, I'll be busy, and people that know me, I'm up at 5:30 and work late, so I'm excited about the opportunities ahead, but kind of sad about leaving here, but I think the park will be a wonderful opportunity for other people to use and to manage. So I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen down the road.
Great.
So.
Great. Well, being here for so many years, almost 22 years, like you said, you must have a lot of great memories. Do you have maybe one or two special things you can share with our viewers?
I guess the experiences that I've had there's so many over the years that it's really hard to pick one or two, but in general, what I'm most proud of are the programming things that we've done. The environmental initiatives and the art issues, which you can see around here a little bit, but are what I'm most proud about. We were the first county or park to do recycling. We did some stuff with the composting area. We've done some stuff with Earth Day initiatives. So we focused in on environmental issues, and we also did an art thing, which I'm most proud of too, and that is the wonderful concert series we've had during the summer, the wonderful exhibits that we've had here, the Sculpture in the Park program that I'm especially proud of. So those are the things that I'll remember the most.
I'm noticing a thread here, the environmental, the art, all it's out. That's wonderful.
Right.
Now, obviously, the citizens of Anne Arundel County, and especially the visitors of Quiet Waters Park, are really going to miss you a lot. What is maybe one thing that you'll miss most about the park?
Well, the people, obviously. I've seen people come in the park and use the park for almost 22 years. I've seen them have children and grow up. I'm going to definitely miss the people that have come in the park. I also will miss deeply the park staff who have been wonderful throughout the years, that I can't possibly thank all of them for what they've done for me and my family and for the park. So obviously those are going to be the main things that I'm going to miss. And I would just include that we've created something here that I think is really special, and that is the unique programming that we've done, and the people that have used the park, the artists and the musicians. It's something that I'll always remember throughout the years, and I just hope that that tradition keeps on, that the new superintendent will be something that they'll focus in on, and they'll make a plan to do something not just normal but special. And I think that that's something I'm so proud of that we've done, and I hope that the citizens of the county also participate in that and protect this property too. This is such a special piece of property that the county has that it needs protection for environmental reasons. So.
Right. Well, you've left a great footprint here and a foothold for the next group to come in and move forward with the park.
Right, and I'm excited about their opportunity, and I just hope that the county, and I want to thank the department too for giving me this opportunity, that they've allowed me to express myself here in the program and the things, and I hope they do that with a new person. I know they will, and I know they'll protect it. So I'm excited about my opportunities, but I'm also excited about the future for the park.
That's great. Well, I have had the distinct pleasure of working with you for the last 6 years of your almost 22 years here at the park, and I will truly miss you, and I wish you all the best in your next endeavor as you move forward. And folks, as you stop by Quiet Waters Park, please feel free for the next couple of weeks to stop in and say goodbye and good luck to Michael.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. And keep running, by the way. I know you're a great runner. She uses the park a lot. So, but thank you very much. And I will miss everyone, but I'm anxious and optimistic about the future. So thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. Everyone here at Week in Review wishes Michael Murdoch the best of luck, and we thank him for his years of excellent service. He's certainly done a great job with Quiet Waters Park.
He absolutely has.
If you really, folks you go to a lot of areas around the country, and there are few that stack up to the beauty of Quiet Waters Park, Downs Park. I mean, we've got one of the best park systems around.
I remember when Quiet Waters opened.
You do?
Yeah, my parents had a house down there, and
wow,
off of Arundel on the Bay, and that was our big park to go to. That was our big Saturday activity with the family, was to go down there.
It's great. I mean, there's so much to do there. You've got the water, the scenery is beautiful, the trails. I know I've done a couple 5Ks down there at Quiet Waters Park, so a lot of
beautiful. Now that the weather's turning, hopefully for the good permanently, hopefully you can get the kids out there.
The weather's turning, and it's March, Marina. Do you know what March means? What does March mean?
Basketball.
Holy cow. Somebody that finally knows something about sports.
I went to Division I school, Mount St. Mary's. We're good to make the tourney every 10 years.
No, I think it's like every 20 years. You guys
10 years. Come on, give us a shot. 1,600 full-time students.
All right, so knowing basketball like you do, tournaments are still going on this weekend, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Who do you see as the sleeper team, and then who do you see really making a run in this year's tournament?
Well, as a Mount St. Mary's college graduate, I have to only follow the sleeper teams, and I'm saying Loyola. They're Mount's big rival.
Yeah.
But my friend's little brother is a sophomore starter.
Oh, wow.
And I hope they go all the way.
That's great.
And my fingers are crossed for them. Another small Maryland school. I hope they take it.
How about the big guys, the Dukes, the Kentuckys? Who do you like?
I've only ever followed the little guys, Eric. I don't know. You're gonna have to. What do you think? Who's gonna win the big guys?
Well, I like Syracuse this year.
Okay.
And for some reason, I really got a good feeling about North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina blows out Duke right before the ACC tournament. They just look like they've got everything together. They've got the team chemistry this year. I'm not a huge Tar Heel fan, but I think
I like the light blue personally.
So you go on the colors.
The light blue and heck
the mascots too.
That's why I'm a Ravens fan. Purple, it's a good color.
What about mascots? Because we've had people on the show that they root for a team because of the mascot of the team.
I don't know if I'm a mascot girl. No? I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
But colors is important. When you're wearing it, when you're donning it, putting it on your own shoulders.
That's right.
It's all about the colors.
That's right. Well, a lot of good basketball coming up here next weekend. The tournament starts. Nothing better than Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day basketball. No reason to leave the house. And no reason to stop watching this show, but it's going to wrap it up for us today, folks. That wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available. Available on blip.tv and YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes or like us on Facebook at Arundel TV. Please tune in again next time for more news and highlights from around your county. We'll see you next time.